The life of Mike Delfino, husband of Susan and stepfather of Julie, biological father of Zach Young, Dana, and also the father of MJ Delfino. Mike Delfino was the son of Nick Delfino and Adele Delfino, and Mike had an older sister named Laura, whom he didn't know about until he was an adult. Mike's mother, Adele, lived a very difficult life because of Mike's father, Nick. And Mike's mother, Adele, made the decision to put Mike's older sister, Laura, into a group home. Laura was nonverbal and was not able to lead a normal life. So Adele put her there. Now, Mike watched as his father, Nick, failed to provide for the family. And Mike's father, Nick, was put in jail for manslaughter, killed his boss, I think it was. And later, Mike developed a drug habit because he was in a relationship with Deirdre Taylor, who was a drug dealer. And Deirdre Taylor is, of course, the daughter of Noah Taylor and the sister of Kendra. And Deirdre was the mother of Zach Young, Dana. And Mike Delfino kicked the drug habit, but unfortunately, a cop, a dirty cop, tried to take advantage of Deirdre Taylor, and Mike tried to protect Deirdre, which she did, but unfortunately, Mike killed the police officer, the bad one, by accident in the struggle. And so Mike was sent to prison for manslaughter. Now, as mentioned before, Mike had a relationship with Deirdre Taylor, and so Deirdre became pregnant with Mike's baby, his son. And Deirdre lied to Mike and she said that she had an abortion, but she didn't. She gave birth to her son, whom she named Dana, and of course, Deirdre sold Dana, her son, to Mary Alice Young and Paul Young, whose real names are Angela Forrest and Todd Forrest. And of course, Dana was renamed Zach Young. So, Mike Delfino eventually got out of prison and he moved on. So, Mike married a woman, his wife, and Mike and his wife, they had a German Shepherd named Bongo. And unfortunately, Mike's wife died. And so Mike was left with Bongo. And eventually, Mike took a job from Noah Taylor. Noah Taylor wanted Mike Delfino to investigate the disappearance of Deirdre Taylor, who, unbeknownst to Mike and Noah, was already dead at this point. So Mike and Bongo moved to Wisteria Lane. And of course, that's how Desperate Housewives season 1 began, and you know the rest of Mike's story if you've watched Desperate Housewives. So that is the life of Mike Delfino. Now, with Mike Delfino, there's a lot of confusion about his past, and some of it, I believe, could be attributed to plot errors and maybe not thinking so carefully. So some people do get confused. They think that, well, did Mike really have a wife? And it seems like Mike wasn't married before Susan because in season 5, Mike seems to not even mention the fact that he lost his own wife when Dave Williams is dealing with the loss of his wife, Edie Britt. So I guess it would have been Edie Williams at that point. But yes, so Mike doesn't even bring up his first wife who died when Dave is going through that. So people say that that's a plot error. They forgot about Mike's wife, or was Mike even married? Was the wife just a cover story? And I think when a show does go on for 8 seasons, things can be forgotten in terms of dialogue, and maybe people forgot to add that or whatever. It would have been a nice touch to still mention it. But the point is, Mike was in a relationship with Deirdre, and that's how Zach Young, whose real name is Dana, was conceived. And then after Mike went to prison, Mike had a wife. He was married to another woman, and she died and left him with the German Shepherd Bongo. and then Mike moved to Wisteria Lane and met Susan, and that is how all that stuff happened. So yes. Now in terms of Mike's death, I think it was very impactful to do that in season 8. The loss of major characters, that's something that Desperate Housewives handles very well. Sort of like Chicago Fire, they handle that pretty well. They are also willing to kill off main beloved characters, so that takes a lot of balls and courage. Now, with Mike Delfino's death, I wasn't so I liked that they were willing to make that sacrifice, but I didn't like how they did it. It's just that Mike got entangled with that loan shark crazy guy who was blackmailing Ben and Renee, and that's how the loan shark crazy guy, who was just a random last edition character, he looked really scary, and he shot Mike, and that's how Mike died. But I would have had it play out very differently. I might have had perhaps Zach Young come out, and Zach Young is maybe more unhinged than ever, and Zach Young decides to. Zach Young has just gone crazy, and so Zach Young decides to kill Mike. Or maybe Ian Hainsworth or Jackson, Susan's old boyfriends. Maybe they're angry and they want to get rid of Mike. Or maybe Dr. Ron, Susan's old boyfriend, maybe he wants to get rid of Mike. Or that weird police dude who beat up Mike in season 1. Maybe he wants to get rid of Mike. Or I would have had someone who has a close connection to Mike or Susan come and take out Mike at the end. I wouldn't have had it be some random person. So, yes, that is the life of Mike Delfino, the early parts.